Please come back. Please come back. There is a question for you.
As Miss Peace Ogechuku.
Honorable Peace, you are welcome. All right, you kindly take this oath with me. I,
Nwachukwu Peace Ogechi,
affirms by the Almighty God
affirms by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee.
touching the matter in...
Please, am I right?
Yes, please.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Please, within 3 seconds, kindly introduce yourself.
Okay. Good afternoon, the Chair of the House. My name is Peace Ogechi Nwachukwu. I am a seasoned student leader within and outside the confines of Valley View University. I have proven my leadership abilities in various organizations where I found myself, even in the work field, before coming back to take a course in nursing and midwifery. Okay, so I would say that I love taking initiative. I am proactive. I believe in diligence, and so I believe that when you work hard, you should get the benefits for working hard. And you can say I'm a lady who acts like a lady but thinks like a man. Thank you.
Miss Ogechi, please, how well do you understand the portfolio that you are seeking?
Thank you, the Chair and the House. You asked how well I understand the portfolio of the SRC Senate President, if I am right?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the SRC Senate President is the individual that is in charge of the chief legislative arm of the council. Now, the Senate is very important in that it enacts laws, sanctions, things that happen, programs. It has to go through the Senate to be approved. And so the role of a Senate President is very vital. It requires someone who is intellectually sound, someone who pays attention to the welfare of students, someone who is able to maintain neutrality while ensuring that deliberations are adequately carried out, and someone who can maintain decorum in the...
Miss Ogechi, please.
And someone who can maintain decorum in parliamentary setting. So yes, it is very vital. And for you to be a Senate President or aspire for the position, there are 2 major qualifications you have to meet. The first is that you must be able to contest for any other SRC position like the president, the vice president, which means you must have a cumulative grade point average of at least 3.0. Also, the second most important qualification is that for you to
Please,
vie...
can you be brief? Be brief.
The second most important qualification for you to vie for the position of a Senate president is that you must be an ex-senator. So, according to your question, how well do I understand the portfolio? I have said that the Senate president presides over the Senate Assembly, which is a very important place for the approval of programs, things or whatever is carried out in the school, and making sure that we keep the welfare of the student priority while obeying the confines of the Constitution. Thank you.
Ms. Peace, do you agree with me that the current administration of the SRC is suffering because of the absence of some of the current executive? Do you agree with me?
I wouldn't know which of the executives are absent. That would make me understand if I will agree with you or not.
All right, so do you then agree with me that because some of our current executives are off-campus students,
Okay.
the current administration is suffering, most especially in terms of finance? Do you agree with me?
No, I don't agree with you. That is because it is an individual thing to be off campus. Being off campus is not tantamount to making the school pay or spend more money. It all depends on what the extra expenses is for. But if it is as a result of being off campus, I don't think it poses an extra strain on the SRC budget.
All right,
so
Miss,
please
not to
help
cut
me
you
understand
short.
better.
Not to cut you short, the SRC president is here and he can attest to the fact that when he calls for meeting, due to the absence of some of the current executives, he is finding certain things difficult in his administration, as I said earlier on, in terms of finance. So since you reside, you are an off-campus student, and you are now vying to be the Senate president, you are going to hold the integrity of the SRC. As a matter of fact, you are going to interpret the Constitution. So if executive is not doing the right thing, how then do you go about it?
Okay, thank you for your question. The chair and the House. First and foremost, the Constitution states that the aspirants must be on campus on assumption of office. And so that automatically means that if I am off campus at this moment, it means upon assumption of office, I should come back to campus. That is what the Constitution says. And yes, the plan is on ground and I will be back on campus. Now, to your question on being off campus affecting the functionality of the SR executive, I would say that that is a personal issue again, because the Senate president is here and all the Senate meetings that were fixed for the semester while I was a senator, I attended except when I took permission. And being off campus many other time, I was here waiting for them before those that were on campus. So it is not a matter of where you are resident. It's a matter of your dedication and commitment to what you are. And please, for the record, okay, please, for the record, my reason for going off campus is not because the school
please, hold on. Miss,
how will I
hold
put
on.
it? It's not like staying on campus.
Hold on.
So, okay.
Please, I didn't ask. Oh. Hello. Please, can we maintain silence? Please, I didn't ask about you being off campus. My question was to executives staying off campus, not to you in particular. So, as you said earlier, upon assumption of office, that person is supposed to come to campus.
Exactly.
You've been a senator before. Am I wrong or right?
Yes, I'm an ex-senator.
You resigned because you were vying for this position, yes or no?
Of course.
Please, I'm not hearing you. Use the microphone.
All right. A question again.
You've been a senator before, yes or no?
Yes, please. I am an ex-senator.
All right. In this case, you resign before filing for this.
Very well. I dropped my resignation on 21st of January 2026.
All right. So you've been in the House before, and as a senator, you are supposed to do the right thing. When you were in the House, you knew some of the executives were staying off campus, and you couldn't pull them back to campus. And now you, same person, aspiring to hold this highest office to be the Senate President, how sure am I that if the nod is given, you will also move back to campus?
Okay, thank you very much, the Chair and the House. Now, first and foremost, the decision for some executives to be off campus is backed by the current administration. And as a body, the Senate Assembly, we work together with the executives. And so we are not supposed to, what we do when they bring cases like this, when the current president could defend the executives, letting us know the reason why they chose to be off campus, regardless of the fact that the Constitution said they should be on campus. We accepted the reasons that were given. And that doesn't mean that we support their staying off campus, but they did give valid backing for why they chose to be off campus. Now, the question of how are you sure that when I assume office, I would be on campus? That is because I am a person of my word. When I say something, I do it. If I don't mean it, I won't do it. So if I say I am coming back to campus because I need to be here on assumption of office, then I, Peace Ogechi Nwachukwu, will be on campus by first semester 400 level. That is what I can tell you.
All right, Ms. Peace, thank you very much. So the problems we are facing now is that when you give aspirant the benefit of the doubt, you let them, we ask them that upon assumption of office, they should return to campus, but they don't. So if truly you will come back to campus and this noble committee with your lead, I would like to give Ms. Peace 1 week interval for her to move to campus.
The Constitution says, please.
Honorable EC Chair, that is not constitutional. And so that is not working. Because the Constitution says that upon assumption of office, of which we have not voted on her yet, she has not gone through all the processes yet, and no.
So what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Hello? If you can't keep quiet, walk out. Or you want to be in her seat. So you answer the questions for her and please keep quiet, okay? Miss Peace Nwachukwu.
Yes, please.
Yeah. How would you, if we give you the nod in the course of your work, how would you maintain integrity, excellence, and service in your work? That's the first question. You've been with the Senate for some time, and in the course of you being with them, is there something they have done right? I would want to hear from you. And is there something you would do differently? And do you have something new that you are bringing on board? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. The Chair and the House. I will say these questions are quite loaded, and so permit me to reply to the question. For the first question, how do I intend to uphold the philosophy of Valley View University in the course of my work? The good thing is that, as you can see in my record, God has been helping me with excellence. So far, I've also been serving the student body since I assumed Valley View University as a level 100 student. And when it comes to integrity, my classmates are here. None of them can say anything that will go against my character when it comes to keeping finances or being accountable. They are here, they can vouch for me. And so individually, I have been able to uphold these values. It is easier to give what you have than what you do not have. And because I already have this as my backing up principles as I grow, I understand that transmitting it to others would be an Herculean task. However, in the course of my work, that is what I choose, or that is what I am moving towards achieving. And so how I intend to make this a reality is, when it comes to the area of integrity, let my word be my bond. If the Senate says we want to do a particular thing or we want to embark on a particular project, then it is important that we do it. Because when we do that, we build confidence in people and we let them know that what we say is what we mean. In the area of service, we want to give more people opportunity to serve. I see service as a privilege and not a right. So with the opportunity to serve, thankfully the Senate has constituencies where we allow students come to serve, represent these constituencies, whether your level, your halls, or your department. And in the journey of you representing these bodies on campus, you would also be learning service on the go. And with excellence, excellence is what Jesus wants all of us to have. In fact, I would say that God will be disappointed in me if I am not excellent. And so the idea of excellence is something that sits with me. And because it does, I would say that it will be easier to help people to achieve their things. I am willing to teach them, those that do not know how exactly to go about their roles within the assembly. We are willing to have orientation so that we can let them know what they can do better in their roles. Which brings me to the second question on what I have observed about the Senate, that they are doing well, and what I choose to improve upon. I would say that the Right Honorable Kweku Bright has been very intentional with timekeeping. Prior to his administration, we used to have meetings for as long as 8 hours. Okay, let me not just exaggerate. We can start around 6, and then I remember we ended one meeting around midnight, past 1 a.m. He's here, and he can bear me witness. Since he came on board, we have been having more regulated times with our meeting. The truth is that managing time is a challenge when we deal with a parliamentary model, because we have to air views and we have to listen to opinions. So we don't just want to shut down on people, so we allow people to express themselves. And so it's actually a challenge managing time, but he has been very wonderful in that job. Also, with the allowances that we're being, would I say the honorarium that the senators received, during his tenure, we were able to receive it, will I say, in good timing, and that is, yes, a plus to him. Now, what are the things I would do differently when I come on board? The first thing I would do is to reorientate the minds of the senators, because I've come to see that perhaps they don't understand the importance of their role in the assembly. To be the chief legislative arm is a very important and crucial place to be. And so it is vital that they know their person in the Senate Assembly. When they know the role that they play through a reorientation that we are going to do once we come on board, it will help them to be able to channel their argument right, bring up issues that we should discuss, and be able to better represent the students in the constituencies that they represent. Also, I intend to bring on board an educational trip for senators. You see, I've come to observe that because of the parliamentary mode of the Senate Assembly, it feels monotonous and it can become boring over time. And so senators are here, but their minds are not here. They are seated, but their minds are wandering in different places because they are just tired of the sit, stand, talk, raise your hand in objection, all of that. And so with the educational trip, when we go to other institutions just within Accra or outside Accra here to watch their Senate sitting, we can learn on the go how it feels like to be in the Senate and understand the importance of our role, because whatever we accept, vote for, or adopt will affect the welfare of students. Thank you.
Miss Peace, I have one question for you.
Okay,
so
please.
How will you deal with senators who debate for personal attacks?
Please, can you take the question again?
The question is, how will you deal with senators who debate for personal attack?
Debates being misplaced for personal attacks. Please, Miss Angela, I didn't get the first phrase before the personal attacks.
Okay, so how will you deal with senators who debate for personal attack?
Okay. Thank you very much, the chair and the House. Because of the parliamentary mode of the Senate Assembly, it is expected that we have debates. And it's expected that naturally an individual would want his or her debate to come, or his or her notion to be accepted. That is why, as a Senate President, you assume neutrality. It is important that you do not take sides with any of the constituencies. However, you give each one the opportunity to air their views. Now, when a senator wants to, take over and then use the debate as an opportunity for their personal, will or suggestions to come to play, then as the Senate President, I have to critically look into what is being talked about. And if it's something that will not benefit the student's body, then it's something that we may not accept. And so the fact that the person will want to confront and want us to do what he or she says is ideal. But it is now in the place of the Senate President to choose how to handle it, making sure that we maintain neutrality, we keep the students' welfare as a priority, and it is within the confines of the Constitution. So what I will do is what I've said to do. Thank you.
Okay. Miss Peace.
Yes, please.
Please, I have a question for you.
All right.
Let's take it you are being voted into power, but later you realize that the SRC used funds before bringing the budget to the Senate for approval. What would you do about that issue?
Please take the question again.
Okay. I said, let's take it you are being voted into power. But when being voted into power, you realize the SRC used funds before bringing the budget for approval from the Senate. How would you go about that issue?
Okay, thank you very much. The chair and the House, this issue is something that has happened even before our coming to power. We've had situations where programs were enacted, flyers were distributed without coming to the Senate. Unfortunately, this is what we find happening around us. However, I think the current administration has been very intentional with rewriting the process through which procedures should go through. So ideally, the information should come to the Senate before it is executed. Now you are asking me, what will I do if the program was executed before coming to the Senate? it is within the right of the Senate to call any executive to give a written, a written report or an explanation on why he or she chose to do what we call an oversight. So in this case, I would call on the executive, give the executive a formal hearing at the Senate Assembly to explain to us why the information or the program was carried out before we got informed. And if the person has a good reason, the Senate has the right to accept the reason or reject it, as the case may be. Thank you.
Madam, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
You appear to be vocal, very, very vocal and outspoken. In your introduction, in your self-introduction, you made a statement, and I want to dwell on that for some time. You said that you are a lady, but you think and act like a man. If I got it wrong, I want you to correct me. Then I can, based on the correction, and ask you my question.
Thank you very much. The chair and the house, I said I am a lady who acts like a lady but thinks like a man. Thank you.
You act like a lady, but
Yes.
you think like a man.
Yes.
Okay. Would you kindly explain to us what that means?
Thank you very much. The chair and the house. It has come to knowledge that men and women are wired differently. Men are wired with the logical aspect of them being put to the front, while women are wired to be emotional first before logical. And so being amongst boys and growing amongst just guys, I learned to act like, or will I say think like men would think, and look at life from a more logical than emotional perspective. And so even though I am emotional because I'm a woman, the logical part of me actually plays a more higher role. And that is why when I'm offended, instead of shouting, I rather keep quiet. Because keeping quiet will make me try to understand why this person must have angered me, what could have pushed this person to say this thing, what's the best answer to give to this person so that I don't go out of the point. So I get to think about it before I go ahead and say it. That's why I said the logical part is put forward than the emotional part.
Does it go to say then that men are better leaders as Senate presidents than women because you are banking your intellectual acumen on the criticality of your thinking? Okay, so does it therefore mean that in the role as Senate president, you think that men are better wired to act and to deliver than women?
Okay, thank you very much, the chair and the house. I didn't say all women. I said research has shown that most women. The court most means that we have some exceptional women that are actually shown us that power is not a masculine thing. We have women that have taken charge of organizations and they've achieved feats that men didn't achieve while they were there. And so we have phenomenal women. I am not saying that all women are first emotional, then logical. The research said most. Now, taking out those selected few, who are about 10%, I would say that I find myself around those 10%. And with respect to presidency being a more masculine position, well, you do have a point, because in Africa, we see leadership as a thing of gender. But some women are coming to rewrite the history of the world, one person at a time. And so we are saying that together, whether male or female, as the Lord gives us grace, we can lead and make a change wherever we find ourselves.
Are you able to adduce that research so we can look at it? 10% of women who think like men. Are you able to give some references?
Okay, I didn't conduct the research, but it was in the book, Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man.
Okay, and who is the author?
Sorry, please.
The author of that book?
Pardon me, it has escaped my memory. I'm not good with names anyway, but
Okay.
I remember the name of the book.
Okay, so you are a lady,
Yes, please.
but you think like a man. Does it not mean that you are not yourself?
Good question. Okay. Thank you very much, the chair and the house. Will I say that every human being has a blend of both natures. Even God that we serve sometimes brings about the feminine nature when he becomes all caring, all loving, all supporting, and brings out the masculine part when he becomes stern, trying to warn, being authoritative. So God himself has dual personalities. It can be a mother to you, it can also be a father. Which is why in every human...
Hold on.
Yes,
Hold on.
please. Also,
Can you
we are
repeat
going-
that? God has what? Dual personality?
Yes, please.
Wow.
Because we are made in his image.
So we are creating God in the image of man.
We are made in the image of
Okay,
God.
so I know what to score you on that. but you see, you are vehement in defending your opinion. But we are looking for individuals who will not be mere reflectors of what they have seen others do, and be reproducers of the thinking and thought patterns of other people. In your case, you acknowledge your femininity, but you are admiring and desiring qualities and features of masculinity. And so you want to get us to believe that you have those potentials, and for that reason, we should give you the opportunity to become the Senate president. For me, that philosophical basis is wrong, it's flawed. It does not make you stand out uniquely as who you are. And if we continue to give you the opportunity to to become the Senate president, it means that you are only going to be a reproducer of that which you have seen men do. And we will not see yourself naturally coming to play out on the role. And so, my counsel will be that should you get the opportunity, be yourself. And let's see you shine. That way is better. It will be better to judge you. We will have a better rubrics to judge you on that basis than wanting to be something that you are naturally not. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sorry, please. Just as a follow-up on something Prof said. When you said that you are a woman who acts like a lady but thinks like a man, do you intend that to be a compliment?
I intend to do what? Please, can you take the
Do you
last comment?
intend that to be a compliment?
If I intended that to be a compliment, well, it depends on how we look at it.
No,
but in my understanding of myself,
no,
I am
wait.
talking about myself. That's why I use the phrase
Yeah, so I'm
I
saying,
am.
did you
Yes, please.
did you intend that to be a compliment?
Yes, please.
So you believe that a lady who acts as a lady and thinks like a man is better than a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a lady?
No, not at all. That's why I talk about myself, not anybody. It
No,
was a
but
personal.
I'm still referring to what you said. Okay.
But please don't make that deduction because I didn't intend that.
Yeah, but I'm asking.
Yes.
And I'm being just logical with what you said. In introducing yourself, you said that you are a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man, right?
Yes, please.
And then I ask you whether you think that is a compliment, that is something positive about you. And you said yes, right?
Yes, it is.
And I'm saying that means that a lady, if that is positive, then logically that means that a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man is more positive. Okay, to use the word positive, I don't say better because we said positive, than a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a lady.
I didn't intend that. I was talking about myself, and that was not a generalization.
Yeah, but I'm still referring to yourself. Since you put that out, you know, I'm here.
Yes.
I'm introducing myself to you. And then I say that, you know, I'm a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man. And then I ask you, do you think that is positive? And you said yes. So it means that that's something positive about you, right? So for example, if you're introducing yourself and you say that I'm a person of integrity, it means persons who are not persons of integrity are lesser than persons who are persons of integrity, right?
Well, I'll try to be very careful with that because we will not generalize things that they have not proven.
Oh, so
you
you don't believe that it is better to be a person of integrity than not? The crown is blocking my view, so I can't see him.
I do have my reasons for making that comment about myself, and I do know why I chose to make that comment. It has to do more of my upbringing and personal understanding of myself. So I try to not generalize it. That is why I use the comment. And so I would rather appreciate if we can just leave it at a personal understanding of who I've come to see myself as and not generalize it. Thank you.
No, but it's a cap you are wearing. And it's how you are in. You know, if you didn't introduce yourself like that, we wouldn't have interrogated it. You agree with me on that, right? Yes. Now we relate with you as you have introduced yourself to us. And there's one such item as you have presented to us. And so by that you have called us to interrogate it, right? So we are only interrogating that. And because there are lots of people here who are listening to it, that's why we have come to look at it. Because you have presented that I'm a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man. Okay, if I ask you that, do you think that is a compliment, if that's positive? If you have said, no, that's just a difference, I wouldn't have gone further. Okay. But then you said that is a positive. And once you say that is a positive, it means that is better than something. And the opposite of being a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man, as I can see it, the opposite is a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a lady. And therefore, when you pitch them like that, it means that a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man is better than a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a lady. This is logical.
If that's how you choose to say it.
No.
Because I was not generalizing the discussion. The lady may not have the kind of background I have. The lady may not have the kind of training I have. The lady may not have sat in the presence of the people I've sat in. So the lady doesn't generally have to tell my own story because that is what I said. So that is why I use it as a personal phrase.
What the deduction I've made so far is very, very objective. It's not subjective to anything. The deduction so far is very objective. And I believe many people who are following how I'm laying it out understands what I'm talking about. Once again, this is what you brought forward, though. You are the one who presented yourself as, I'm a lady who acts like a lady and thinks like a man. Once again, I said, if you had said that, no, that is not positive, that's only my difference, I would have said, okay, well. But then I asked you, is that a compliment? Is that a positive? You said yes. And therefore, that makes other ladies here who are ladies, act like ladies, and think like ladies, feel that it would have been better if they were ladies who act like ladies and think like men. Okay, think about it. Maybe the next time that you want to introduce yourself. And that is no attack. You know we are friends, right? that's just. Anyways, who swears into office the Senate President?
I didn't get that.
Should you be elected as Senate President, who will swear you into office?
The outgoing Senate President.
Sorry.
You asked who will swear me into the office?
Yes, should you be?
It's the outgoing executive. That's the outgoing Senate President.
Is the out? You are currently the. Are you the one who will swear her into office?
Yes, that's what it was.
Is that how it is done? So as the president of Senate, who swears the president of the elected president of Senate, who swears that person into office? I'm not talking about the other Senate members, the president. Who swears that president into office? When I swear into office?
Well, I do not recall any particular clause that talks about the swearing in the Constitution. What we talked about was handing over. So perhaps I didn't pay attention to that.
Okay. Have you been to any function like that before? Handing over, swearing in. Have you been to any such on campus? Anyways, yes. The current Senate president says that you were sworn into office by the dean of students. Yeah, I'm asking something from there. If the dean of students becomes the one, as it is, who swears you into office, do you know what that signifies?
The fact that you are sworn in by the dean of student life?
Yeah.
Well, it means that the dean of student, that whatever you are doing should be, well, I say, subject to approval by the dean of student life. So it means that authority.
Should the SRC bring any program that disagrees, in essence, with the culture and the philosophy of the institution, what are you going to do?
Okay. Thank you very much, the chair and the House. It is in the role of the Senate to look into programs that are brought or that are supposed to be carried out in the university. However, our approval or rejection of programs is with respect to the confines of the Constitution and the Constitution of, will I say, Valley View University in general. And so if you bring a program that is supposed to run during IDF period or during Sabbath hours or during the week of spiritual emphasis, it is ideal that that program be rescheduled for another time because it will be affecting the already laid down schedules of the school. And the Senate or the SRC is subject to the school, to the student life. So whatever we are doing must be in line and in agreement with the philosophies of Valley View University and the schedule of the student life.
So then you are saying, before all of us seated here, that should it happen that you are voted into office as a president of the Senate, your council is never going to approve any program that runs counter to the ideals, to the philosophy and culture of Valley View University. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please.
Ms. Ogechi, please, on the 26th of November 2025, you were supposed to be at a Senate meeting. That happens to be the 4th sitting of the Senate. Where were you at that time?
Please, can you take a question again?
Based on records, on the 26th of November 2025, as a senator, you were supposed to be at a Senate meeting. That happens to be the 4th sitting of the Senate.
Yes, please.
Where were you on that day?
26th of November 2025. Well, I do not have total recall of what happened that day, but if I, for any reason, missed a Senate meeting, I must have tendered, will I say, a permission to be absent from the meeting. The Right Honorable is here, he can attest to that. So if I wasn't in the meeting, then I took permission to not be in the meeting.
So please, have you been attending Senate meetings at all?
Yes, I have.
So on the 4th sitting of the Senate sitting, you were also absent. And based on records, there is not any letter per the Constitution. If you are supposed to absent yourself from Senate meeting, you are to put it into writings and address to the Senate President. But on these two occasions, we don't have any records backing your claims, backing you being absent at the Senate sitting. So you aspiring to be a senator, I mean the Senate President, and you not attending Senate sittings, how then do you convince your senators to present themselves at sittings? Because I have the records here, and based on the records here, we have the number of members present with members absent attached to this document, their reasons for being absent. And looking at the document, you are absent, but there is no any document attached to you being absent from those sittings.
All right, thank you, the chair and the House. Last semester was a challenging semester for me health-wise. I was in and out of the hospital, and I recall it started in November. There was a misdiagnosis. I was being treated for something else, and the symptoms kept getting worse, so I had to go back and forth of the hospital. I think if I can get access to my hospital records, you'll be able to see that. And so if for any reason I was not at the Senate meeting, it is because of health. And if I didn't attend, I did ensure to let the majority leader and the clerk be aware. But for December 14th, I really cannot remember what happened on that day. But if I did not drop a notice to miss out on a meeting, then it means most likely there was a breach of information somewhere, because once I will not be around, I dropped the information, and in good time, not few minutes to the meeting. Now, also, it was only last semester that I had that sporadic attendance because of my health challenge. Prior to that time, if you go through my attendance for the Senate as in my level 200, I hardly missed a meeting. And if you can reach out to Right Honorable Enoch, it will give you that update. So that was a health issue. It was not because I didn't want to attend meetings. And for every meeting I missed, I ensured to go through the minutes, to follow up what happened, ask questions from those who attended, and try to keep up to date with the information. And so if my missing meetings is looking like a threat, then I apologize for that. But for last semester, it wasn't my making in any way. And hopefully, with all of the health issues attended to, we will not be having that in the future.
Ms. Ogechi, please, I'll be happy if your answers can be brief and simple. Please, I'm not talking about last year, level 100. I'm talking about just last semester. You are aspiring to be a Senate President. And based on records, this is Constitution, and so the right thing is supposed to be done. The Constitution says, if you not be present at any Senate meeting, you should write to the Senate President and request for permission.
I'm aware of that.
So looking at the document I have here, you didn't do that. Is that so?
Unfortunately, I do not have that phone here. I would have gone through to see where the breach of information happened.
So that is why I said 26th November 2025. That happens to be the 4th sitting of the Senate.
I already told you about that. For the 4th sitting, 26th of November, I am very sure I must have dropped. It was for 14th December, you said you didn't see any note attached, if I recall very well. You are talking about 14th of December, not November 26th.
26th November 2025.
And I have given you the response. I was indisposed. So if I didn't attend, that's the reason. And if
what I want to understand is,
covered,
did you write to the Senate
I'm sure
President?
I wrote a notification. I am
So
very sure of
upon
that.
request, in fact, before coming here, I requested for all those documents from the Senate clerk.
Yes.
And I don't have your document over here. I don't have it. There's no document clearly stating that you requested for permission. And perhaps this meeting that I'm talking about was an online meeting, Google Meet, as clearly stated on your minute over here. Google Meet. So on this note, would you agree with me that you've not been attending Senate meetings?
I have been attending Senate meetings. We had online meetings and I was there. I'm part of the business committee. So we have the meetings before we come to the Senate and even have the meetings. So the agenda and everything, we already discussed it. So if I didn't attend, the one of last semester, well, Mr. Frank, I think what we can do is that perhaps check my archives of the information with the clerk, because I do remember that if I must be essential in any meeting, if the clerk is not aware, then the majority leader must be aware. And I do my best to back it up with a letter. So if for any reason I didn't do that, then it must have been as a result of the health issue that I spoke about earlier. I don't have any other explanation to give. My father said when you're saying the truth, you don't explain too much. I've told you what happened, that's what happened.
This is not a matter of them being aware. The Constitution says you should put it into writing. So you just informing the clerk or the Senate president is like just talking to someone outside.
So Honorable.
So I want to understand that did you write to the Senate president?
With all due respect, the chair.
But then you were the main clerk and you had a deputy. You were out of the house. And so where did you get the minutes from? Who gave you Friday? And so have you?
Hello. Please, to our audience, we are taking 2 questions from the audience. All right.
Thank you, Chair and the House. My dear sister, okay, thank you, and I put this question to you. What do you think that we, the student body, need you in that seat of the Senate? On the basis of, if you are answering a question, you can go about a lot of things which probably, if you could have gone straight to the question and answer it, could have been helpful. So if you are in that seat and you will be going around a lot of things like that, I believe with your senators, they will be very mad at you. So what do you think? And what makes you the right person to be in that seat of the Senate President?
Thank you for your question. All right, the chair and the House, the entire student body. The question is, if I think that the way I answer questions is not going to pose a challenge to my ability to lead at the Senate. Permit me to first say that some questions are not a direct yes or no answer. So when you have to answer a question that is not yes or no, it is expected that you try to make your point. And at the Senate hearing, one of the things that we ensure is done is that when we are making our points, we make our points heard. So sometimes, even if you don't go straight to, the question, you have to be able to end there. So if your destination is reaching and making that point, then you have made a point. However, I apologize for being a person of too many words if that is what you are trying to say. But when it comes to the welfare of the student, I believe that my work as a Senate is not to talk. My work at the Senate is to preside and listen to the hearing that is being said from the constituencies, weigh the discussions, and then together we can make the best decisions that protect the welfare of the students and keeps the integrity of the Constitution. So I would say that I can guarantee that because I have led a lot of parliamentary meetings and I've been leaders at discussions, yes, the needs of the students will be heard. So it is your representatives that are coming to talk for you. My job as the Senate President is to preside over the meeting and listen to what they are saying. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, last one.
Ms. Ogechi, please, I have one question jotted here to ask. So how or what would you do uniquely to address the demand or interest of students in terms of SRC activities with respect to administrative policies?
That question is quite broad. Can you make it more narrow?
Okay, so what should you do uniquely to address we the students, our demands or interests in terms of SRC activities in respect with the administrative policies?
Permit me to say that the job of the Senate is to uphold the welfare of the students. However, then to keep up your interest, of course. But when it comes to the administrative, we accept, I would like to say, when the executive, is the executive that does the planning of the programs. When they plan the programs, then it is brought to the Senate for approval. So permit me to say it is not in my office to plan the programs or deal with the administrative in code. However, when the programs are planned and are brought to the Senate office, then we'll deliberate on it and choose that which is best for the interest of the students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ogechi. Please. You are duly discharged.
Miss Peace, please, can you do us the honor to call us Mr. Ewua Emmanuel? Thank you.
So as we await for the next aspirant, kindly indulge me to recognize the former PRO and then the organizer of the EC, Mr. Augustine Omane, and then Mr. Emil Kingsley Parr. Please, you are duly welcome if you are here with us.
Honorable Ima, you're welcome.
Thank you, the chair.
All right. Kindly raise the Bible with your right hand as you take this oath with me. I,
Bafuwa Emmanuel,
affirms by the Almighty God
affirm by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Thank you. Kindly have yours.
Hello. Mr. Bafo Ewua Emmanuel, you are welcome.
Thank you, the chair.
Please, less than 8 seconds, kindly introduce yourself.
The chair of the House, I'm Bafuwa Emmanuel, a level 300 student of the Department of Health Sciences. I present myself today before the vetting committee as I aspire for the position of the Senate President. Thank you.
Mr. Bafo Ewua, please, assuming that I'm a fresher within the Senate, hello. Please, assuming that I'm a fresher within the Senate, and I want to ask questions, how would you, you being the senator or the Senate President, how would you educate a fresher based on the intervention science?
Thank you, the chair of the House. So per the intervention science, we have 3 intervention science at the Senate House. I'll demonstrate them.
Yeah, all right. Point of information. Okay. Point of correction. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, the Chair of the House.
All right, I am done with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Chair of the House.
Honorable Bafo, welcome once again.
Thank you, the Chair of the House.
All right, so per the Constitution, you're going to be the custodian of the Constitution and the head of the legislative arm of the Valley View University SRC government. What are the qualifications of a general, or what are the general qualifications of an executive?
Thank you, the Chair of the House, for the question. So per the SRC Constitution, the general qualifications for any officer aspiring for any executive portfolio are as follows. 1, the individual must have completed 4 semesters without summer school. 2, the individual must be a campus resident upon assumption of office. 3, the individual should meet all the academic qualifications or academic requirements per the SRC Constitution in terms of their CGPA. 4, the individual must live in harmony in accordance to the SRC Constitution. That is, the individual should be free from any disciplinary activities or any disciplinary committee issues. Also, the 5th one, the individual must not be a work-study student when vying for such a position.
All right, Honorable.
Thank you.
All right, so with that said, the Constitution gives out clear qualifications for each of the offices within the council, ranging from the president down to all the officers, including the Senate president. Therefore, according to Article 5, that is Article V, the Senate, under Section 1, which talks about the authority, what are the qualifications of a Senate president, and why do you think you qualify for such an office?
Thank you for the question, the Chair of the House. So per Article V of the SRC Constitution, the qualifications or the authority to be a Senate president are as follows. 1, the individual must meet all requirements as any aspirant who is going for any of the SRC executive positions. That is 1. 2,
please proceed.
Okay, thank you. 2, the Senate president, as part of the mandatory process, should qualify academically, shouldn't have any problems with his CGPA or any of that sort. Also, as part of that, the Senate president, upon assumption of office, should be a campus resident. 4, per the Constitution, the Senate president has to be an ex-senator. Thank you.
You're welcome. So based on this qualification, I asked the question in 2 folds. After stating the qualifications, why do you think based on these qualifications you qualify to be a senator, a Senate president, sorry?
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the clarification, the Chair of the House. So from the qualifications that I've read out, I personally believe I qualify to go for the position that I'm aspiring for because I meet the standards that is expected in terms of academics. I was also part of the Senate, the current Senate, before I tendered my resignation to the House. I also know that...
On that note, I want to ask, are you a senator? Were you a senator?
The Chair of the House, No, I wasn't.
So, since you were not a senator, based on the qualifications, Article V, Section 1, or under the authority, and Clause F, the Senate President should be an ex-senator. And you are not a senator, but you boldly claim that you qualify to be a Senate President, of which it forfeits what the Constitution is saying. On this note, do you agree that you are not qualified for the office? So this vetting process should not continue.
The Chair of the House, thank you for the question. So I believe...
All right, Mr. Bafo, before you come in, please, let me quickly come in. Right Honorable, before Mr. Bafo filed for this nomination, he asked about what you are asking. But looking at the Constitution do not go down to explain.
Honorable, we are talking about senators. Senators are those who have voting rights representing constituencies, of which he clearly said that he's not a senator because he does not have a voting right. He is not representing any constituency. So what are the claims that he is a senator and what qualifies him to be a senator?
Can you come again? It's like...
A senator has a voting right. A senator has a voting right. A senator is representing a constituency. Okay? Of which he was not representing any constituency. He was not having any voting right in the House. So upon this basis, what qualifies him to be a senator?
What I'm trying to communicate here is that the Constitution do not break it down as to who is qualified to contest for the Senate.
The Constitution clearly stated in Article V, Section 1, under authority, Clause F, the Senate President should be an ex-senator, period. That is what is stated in the Constitution. And he clearly said that he is not a senator. A senator is supposed to represent a constituency. A senator has a voting right in the House.
Excuse me. Hello? Gentlemen, can you stand? You. Yes, you. Get up. Are you a student? What's your name? Go out. Walk out. Don't be silly. We are doing something serious here. This is so much indiscipline in Valley View, and we have to curb it right now. Please go ahead.
Per the Constitution, the Senate President should be an ex-senator, irrespective of the number of terms you've served as a senator, whether being a 1 term or 2 terms or being it 3 terms, you qualify to be an ex-senator.
I think that we don't have to belabor the point. Did you say that you were a senator and you tendered in resignation?
The Chair of the House, I said I was a clerk, a Senate clerk.
You were a Senate clerk?
Yes.
Were you representing any constituency?
No, the Chair.
Okay, so you were not a senator?
No.
Okay. So it means that the Constitution is clear. The Constitution says that for you to qualify to be a Senate President, you must have been a senator. Is that not what it says? Hello? Is that not what it says? Okay, did you know this? Did you know this?
The Chair of the House, to the best of my knowledge, I didn't really know this.
You said it. When we were asking the qualifications of the senator, you mentioned it. That you were supposed to be an ex. So that's your last point upon which he based on. So what do you mean that you didn't know?
Thank you. The Chair of the House, I am not referring to when I was asked.
So what do you mean that by you don't know?
So what I was trying to say was, as at the time I was aspiring for this position, and as at the time I sent my resignation letter, I didn't really know.
So, Honorable, so on what basis did you file for nomination, since you don't know the qualification of a senator, a Senate president? On what basis did you file for nomination?
Thank you, the Chair of the House, for the question. The Chair of the House, I came into the House to serve as a clerk per recommendation, and I strongly believe if I wasn't capable of handling such tasks, I wouldn't have been recommended to come to serve the Senate. And then also, I also believe in the fair idea that leadership is always learned. You learn and then you unlearn. So I am going in for this position not because I don't qualify. I am going in for the position because I know I can do the work.
Hello. Hello. Mr. Bafo Ewa Emmanuel. So, Mr. Bafo Ewa Emmanuel, based on Article V, Section 2, you do not qualify for the portfolio that you are aspiring to be or you are aspiring for. So, on this note, you are duly discharged. Question. All right, please come.
Mr. Chair, according to the Constitution, Article 5, Section 2(1), at the first sitting of the Senate elects the Vice President.
Honorable, with all due respect, kindly state the clause, the section, article very well, because we don't have. Good. We don't have Article 5.
Sure, thank you. Article V, Section 2(1). It states that at the first sitting of the Senate elects the Vice President, the clerk, the deputy clerk, and the sergeant at arms. This means that the clerk is elected among the members of the Senate. And it also means that the clerk is a Senate. So based on your point that says that the clerk is not a Senate, based on your point, you are using the Constitution. So based on the Constitution, it means that once he served as the clerk, he can also vie for the position as a Senate President.
All right, Honorable. It's what?
Okay, so to understand it in context. Let us try to understand it in context. How do we get senators for SRC in Valley View? No, you are asking the question, so we want you to answer. How do we get senators?
Okay, so based on the Constitution,
yes,
the Senate elects. The Senate President is being voted for, 1.
Yes.
2, the Senate elects the Vice President, the clerk, the deputy clerk, and the sergeant at arms. That's based on the Constitution. So if the board or the vetting team is saying that since he was a clerk for the previous Senate or the current Senate, he cannot vie for the Senate.
For Mr. Chairman, for the purpose of clarity and constitutional interpretation, can we look at Article V, Section 2, clauses 2, 3, and 4? And 4. It says that, let me read. Members of the executive may attend Senate meetings as observers and will not have any voting right. 3. A senator shall be elected, for emphasis, from the following constituencies to represent each group in the Senate. A senator's role is to voice and air the concerns of their particular constituency at Senate gatherings, at Senate meetings. Is that not so? And the clause says that a senator shall be elected from the following constituencies to represent each group in the Senate. The Senate shall, upon their first meeting, elect auditors for the respective campuses as per the requirements stated in this constitution. Then the SRC senatorial constituencies, level 100 freshman class, 1 representative. Level 200 sophomore class, 1 representative. Level 300 junior class, 1 representative. Level 400 senior class, 1 representative. All such members shall provide in all such members as provided in II, and IV shall be elected at a first duly called General Assembly. They shall pick forms from the Electoral Commission and will be vetted and voted upon during general election. Now, that is what the Constitution says. The question, therefore, is, were you duly elected to represent any of the constituencies?
Chair of the House, no.
So it settles it. This is the Constitution.
But, Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, but that doesn't answer my question. 1. 2, if you are going based on the Constitution and based on what you are saying,
hello. Please, can you keep quiet so that we can proceed?